Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Hughes Harmony, watching the stars through the big window. His coffee had gone cold hours ago, but he did not care. Today was the most important day in human history. The aliens were coming. "Captain, we have contact," said Kate Williams from her station. She was the communications officer, a young woman with bright eyes and steady hands. "The alien ship is 2 hours away." Jake nodded. He had been waiting for this moment his whole life. Every person on Earth had been waiting. After centuries of wondering if humans were alone in the universe, they finally had their answer. They were not alone. "Send word to Earth," Jake said. "Tell them the Zelani are almost here." The Zelani. That was what the aliens called themselves. They had sent a message 3 weeks ago, speaking perfect English somehow. They said they came in peace. They wanted to meet humanity and share knowledge. They brought gifts and friendship. Dr. Lisa Carter walked onto the bridge. She was the chief scientist on the ship, an expert in studying alien life. Her hands shook a little with excitement. "Captain, all our equipment is ready. We can record everything they show us." "Good," Jake said. "This needs to be perfect. The whole galaxy will be watching." Commander Ryan Hughes joined them. He was in charge of security, a big man with careful eyes. "Sir, our weapons are powered down as ordered. We are showing them we mean no harm." Jake looked at his crew. These were good people, the best humanity had to offer. They had trained for years for this moment. First contact with an alien race. It had to go well. "There," Kate said, pointing at her screen. "I can see their ship." Everyone looked out the window. In the distance, a strange shape moved between the stars. It was beautiful and unlike anything humans had ever built. The ship looked alive, with smooth curves and a soft blue glow. It moved like a fish swimming through water. "It's amazing," Lisa whispered. The alien ship came closer. It was huge, maybe twice the size of the Harmony, but it moved with grace, turning and spinning without any visible engines. The blue glow got brighter as it approached. "They're sending a message," Kate said. She put it on the speakers. A voice filled the bridge. It was musical and soft, like water flowing over stones. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Zelani. We come in peace and friendship. May we approach your vessel?" Jake straightened his uniform. This was it. Tell them yes. Welcome them to our space. Kate spoke into her microphone. "Welcome, Zelani. We are honored to meet you. Please come aboard." Our ship, the alien ship, moved very close to the Harmony. A tube of light stretched between the two vessels. Jake had never seen anything like it. The light was solid somehow, creating a bridge between the ships. "Incredible technology," Lisa said. "How do they make light solid?" "We'll have time to learn," Jake said. "Let's go meet our guests." The crew walked to the docking bay. Jake's heart was beating fast. He tried to stay calm. This moment would be remembered forever. He wanted to do it right. The light tube connected to their ship. Through it, shapes began to move. The first alien stepped into the Harmony. It was beautiful. The Zelani looked like a cross between a human and a sea creature. It had 2 legs and 2 arms, but its skin was smooth and blue-green. Its head was larger than a human's, with big dark eyes that seemed to hold the depth of oceans. Instead of hair, it had flowing tentacles that moved like they were underwater. "I am Ambassador Veltar," the alien said. Its voice was the same musical sound they had heard before. "I speak for my people. We bring gifts and friendship to humanity." Jake stepped forward. "I am Captain Jake Morrison. Welcome to our ship. We are honored to meet you." The ambassador smiled. Its face could show emotion just like a human's. "The honor is ours, Captain. We have traveled far to meet your kind. You are the first new species we have found in many years." More Zelani came through the light bridge. They carried strange objects that glowed and hummed softly. Each alien was different, some taller, some with different colored skin, but all of them moved with the same flowing grace. "We bring gifts," Baltar said. "Technology that may help your people. Knowledge of the stars, stories of other worlds." Lisa stepped forward. "We have gifts too. Human art, music, and culture. We want to share with you." The ambassador's tentacles moved in what looked like happiness. "Wonderful. We love to learn about new cultures. Your species creates such beautiful things." They spent the next hour exchanging gifts. The Zelani gave them crystals that stored information, tools that could heal injuries, and devices that could clean water instantly. The humans gave them paintings, music recordings, and books about Earth's history. "Your planet must be beautiful," Veltar said, holding a picture of Earth's oceans. "We come from a water world too. Perhaps our peoples have much in common." Jake felt hope growing in his chest. These aliens seemed truly peaceful. They asked about human culture, about their dreams and fears. They shared stories of their own world, with vast cities under the sea and peaceful lives spent in harmony with nature. "We have much to learn from each other," Jake said. "Yes," the ambassador agreed. "This is the beginning of a wonderful friendship between our peoples." As the day ended, Jake watched the Zelani return to their ship. The light bridge faded, and their beautiful vessel moved away to a safe distance. They would return tomorrow. For more meetings. Standing on the bridge, Jake felt proud. Humanity had made contact with the stars. They had met their first alien friends. The future looked bright and full of possibilities. He had no idea how wrong he was. Tony Mitchell was not a smart man, but he knew machines. He had been fixing engines and computers for 20 years. Right now, something was wrong with the ship's sensors, and it was making him nervous. "Kate, come look at this," he called to. The communications officer, Kate Williams, walked over to his station. Tony pointed at the screen, showing energy readings from around the ship. "See these spikes? They happen every time the Zelani ship gets close to us." Kate looked at the strange patterns. "What do you think it means?" "I don't know," Tony said. "But it's not normal. Their ship is doing something to our systems." It had been 2 weeks since first contact. The meetings with the Zelani continued every day. They brought new gifts and asked many questions about human technology and culture. Everyone was excited about the friendship growing between the two species. But Tony noticed things others missed. The small problems that started after the aliens arrived. Computer glitches, sensor errors, strange power drains that should not happen. "Maybe you should tell the captain," Kate suggested. Tony shook his head. "He's busy with the important stuff. Besides, I'm probably wrong. I'm just a mechanic." But deep down, Tony knew he was not wrong. Something was happening to their ship. In another part of the Harmony, Dr. Lisa Carter was having her own doubts. She sat in her lab, studying the gifts the Zelani had given them. The crystals that stored information were amazing. But when she looked at them under her strongest microscope, she found something troubling. "Computer, magnify section 7, she said. The screen showed tiny structures inside the crystal. They looked like machines, smaller than anything humans could build. They were moving, changing, almost like they were alive. Lisa's hands shook as she realized what she was seeing. These were not just storage devices. They were surveillance equipment. The crystals were watching and recording everything around them. She quickly sealed the crystal in a special container that blocked all signals. Her mind raced. Why would the Zelani hide spy devices in their gifts? What were they really after? Meanwhile, Commander Ryan Hughes was reviewing security footage from the past week. The Zelani had asked to tour parts of the ship, saying they wanted to learn about human technology. Everyone thought it was innocent curiosity, but Ryan watched the recordings carefully. He saw how the aliens looked at the weapon systems, how they asked specific questions about the ship's defenses, how they seemed to memorize the layout of important areas. "They're not just curious," Ryan muttered to himself. "They're studying us." He made notes of everything suspicious. The way Ambassador Veltar's tentacles moved when he lied. How the other aliens always stayed near critical systems during tours. How they asked about human military strength and colony locations. Ryan had fought in wars before joining the diplomatic service. He knew the signs of an enemy gathering intelligence. But he also knew that no one would believe him. Everyone was too excited about the peaceful contact to listen to warnings. That evening, Kate was working late in the communications center. Most of the crew was asleep, but she was monitoring signals from the Zelani ship. The aliens said they needed to send reports back to their home world about the successful contact, but something was wrong with the transmissions. Kate was good with languages and codes. She had helped create the translation system that let humans and Zelani talk to each other. Now she was hearing Zelani words that did not match what the translation system was showing. She played back a recording of Ambassador Veltar talking to his ship. The translation system said he was reporting about human culture and art. But when Kate listened to the actual Zelani words, she heard something different. "Survey complete," the ambassador had actually said. "Defensive capabilities are primitive. Population centers are vulnerable. The humans suspect nothing." Kate's blood ran cold. She played the recording again, checking her work. It was no mistake. The Zelani were not the peaceful friends they pretended to be. She quickly copied that recording and ran to find Captain Morrison. But as she left the communications center, she saw Ambassador Veltar in the hallway. He was not supposed to be in this part of the ship. "Officer Williams," the ambassador said with his musical voice. "Working late?" "Yes, sir," Kate replied, trying to stay calm. "Just routine maintenance." The alien's dark eyes seemed to look right through her. "You work very hard. Your people are so dedicated. It will serve you well in the future." Something in his tone made Kate's skin crawl. She nodded and walked away, clutching the recording device in her hand. The next morning, Kate found Tony in the engine room. "We need to talk," she said quietly. Tony looked around to make sure they were alone. "You found something too?" "The Zelani are lying to us," Kate whispered. "I intercepted their real communications. They're not here for friendship." Tony nodded grimly. "I knew it. Their ship is scanning our systems. They're learning our weaknesses." "We have to tell the captain," Kate said. "Tell him what?" Tony asked. "That the amazing peaceful aliens are actually spies? He'll think we're crazy." Kate knew he was right. Everyone was so happy about first contact. The whole crew believed they were making history in a good way. No one wanted to hear that their new friends might be enemies, but they had to try. Kate went to find Dr. Carter first. Maybe if they had more evidence, the captain would listen. She found Lisa in her lab, looking worried. "Doctor, I need to show you something." Lisa looked up from her work. "Kate, thank goodness. I need to show you something too." They shared their discoveries, the spy devices and the gifts, the fake translations, the suspicious behavior during tours. All the pieces fit together into a frightening picture. "They're not here to be friends," Lisa said. "They're studying us like we're specimens in a lab." "But why?" Kate asked. "What do they want?" Lisa looked at the sealed crystal container. "I think we're about to find out." Outside the ship, the beautiful Zelani vessel hung in space like a peaceful guardian. Its blue glow was steady and calm. But inside, Ambassador Veltar was sending a very different message to his fleet. "Phase 1 complete," he reported. "The humans are completely deceived. They believe we seek friendship. Their defenses are cataloged. Their technology is primitive. Population centers are mapped. He paused, his tentacles moving with satisfaction. Begin Phase 2. It is time to reveal our true purpose. The peaceful days of first contact were about to end. The Zilani had learned everything they needed to know. Now they would show humanity what they really wanted, and it was not friendship. Captain Jake Morrison was having breakfast when the alarm started screaming. He dropped his coffee and ran to the bridge. The crew was already at their stations, faces pale with fear. "What's happening?" Jake demanded. Kate Williams looked up from her console. "Captain, we're detecting massive energy signatures all around us. Ships are decloaking." Jake stared at the main screen. Where there had been empty space moments before, now hundreds of alien vessels appeared. They were not like the beautiful ship that had brought Ambassador Veltar. These were dark, angular warships bristling with weapons. "How many?" Jake asked quietly. "Over 300 ships, sir," Kate replied. "They were hidden in the asteroid field." Commander Ryan Hughes stepped forward. "Sir, we're being hailed by the Zilani vessel." "Put it on screen," Jake ordered. The face that appeared was not Ambassador Veltar. This alien was larger, with scars across its blue-green skin and cold, merciless eyes. When it spoke, its voice was harsh and commanding. "I am Admiral Kethlin of the Zilani Collective. You have been deceived, humans. Your ambassador was a useful tool, but now the truth begins." Jake felt his world crashing down around him. "What do you want?" The alien admiral's tentacles writhed with what looked like amusement. "We want your star system, Captain Morrison. This region of space contains a rare hyperspace junction. It is valuable to us." "You said you came in peace," Jake said, his voice shaking with anger and betrayal. "Peace is a weakness your species seems to value," Kethlin replied. "It made you easy to study. We have used the same method on 17 other worlds. We arrive peacefully, learn your weaknesses, then take what we need." Dr. Lisa Carter had joined them on the bridge. 17 worlds? What happened to those people? The Admiral's smile was cold. "They serve us now. Those who survive, anyway. Your species will make good workers. Humans are creative and adaptable. You will be useful." Jake's hands clenched into fists. "We will never serve you." "You will," Kethlin said simply. "You have no choice. Your single ship cannot fight our fleet. Your colonies are defenseless. Your home world has no idea we exist." On the screen, Jake could see the Zilani warships moving into attack positions. Each one was twice the size of the Harmony, and their weapons were already charging. "We studied your military capabilities during our visits," the Admiral continued. "Your weapons are primitive. Your ships are slow. Your people are soft from too much peace." Jake looked around his bridge. His crew was terrified, but trying to stay brave. These were good people who had believed in peace and friendship. Now they faced an enemy that had used their goodness against them. "How long do we have?" Jake asked. "1 of your hours," Kethlin replied. "Surrender now, and your crew will live to serve us. Resist, and you will be destroyed as an example to others." The screen went dark. Jake stood in silence, feeling the weight of his failure. He had led his people into a trap. He had believed in peace when he should have prepared for war. "Captain," Kate said softly, "I'm getting reports from the outer colonies. More Zilani ships are appearing everywhere." Jake nodded numbly. The aliens had not just hidden one fleet. They had surrounded all of human space while pretending to be friends. "How could we have been so stupid?" Ryan muttered. "We weren't stupid," Lisa said firmly. "We were human. We hoped for the best in others, because that's what we want for ourselves." But Jake was not listening. He was thinking about Earth, about the billions of people who had celebrated first contact. They had no idea that their new alien friends were actually conquerors who planned to enslave them all. On the Zelani flagship, Admiral Kethlan was addressing his fleet commanders. The deception phase is complete. The humans are isolated and helpless. Begin final preparations for conquest. One of his officers spoke up. Admiral, their reaction seems different from the other species we conquered. They show anger, not just fear. Kethlan's tentacles moved dismissively. Anger without power is meaningless. They cannot hurt us. But Ambassador Veltar, who had been listening, seemed less certain. Admiral, during my time on their ship, I noticed something. The humans asked very few questions about our military strength. For a species meeting aliens for the first time, they seemed remarkably uncurious about our weapons. What are you suggesting? Kethlan asked. Perhaps they already knew, Veltar replied. Perhaps they were studying us while we studied them. The Admiral laughed. Impossible. We monitored all their communications. We scanned their technology. They have one small diplomatic ship and a few colonial defense vessels. They are helpless. Veltar's tentacles moved with worry. I hope you are right, Admiral. But I remember something their captain said. When I asked about human military history, he smiled and said, we have learned much from our mistakes. On the Harmony, Jake was staring out at the enemy fleet. So many ships, so much firepower. How had humanity been so blind? Captain, Kate said suddenly, I'm receiving a transmission on an old military frequency. It's heavily encrypted. Jake turned to her. What does it say? Kate's fingers flew over her controls. It's from Terran Command. They're asking for our status. Jake felt a spark of hope. Terran Command? But they don't exist anymore? The military was disbanded after the peace accords. Apparently not, Kate said, reading the message. They're asking if we need assistance. Jake looked at his crew. What did they have to lose? Send our position and situation. Tell them we're facing an invasion fleet. The reply came back quickly. Acknowledged. Stand by, Jake frowned. Stand by? What could anyone do against hundreds of alien warships? As the minutes ticked by, the Zelani fleet moved closer. Their weapons were almost ready to fire. On the flagship, Admiral Kethlan prepared to destroy the human ship as a demonstration of power. Sir, one of his officers said, we're detecting some kind of energy signature behind our fleet. Kethlan checked his sensors. Probably debris from the asteroids. Ignore it. But the energy signature was getting stronger. And it was moving dot in the depths of space, hidden among the asteroids. Something massive was stirring. Something that had been waiting and watching while the Zelani played their games of deception. The peaceful contact had been real, but humanity had prepared for the possibility that it might not stay that way. Admiral, Kethlan was about to learn that humans had indeed learned from their mistakes. And their greatest mistake had been trusting others to stay peaceful when they themselves were not prepared for war. The hour was almost up. Soon, the Zelani would discover that they had made a terrible error. They had assumed that because humans wanted peace, they had forgotten how to fight. They were about to learn how. Wrong they were. Captain Alex Turner had been watching the Zelani for 3 weeks. Hidden in the asteroid field, his ship U's Vengeance had recorded every moment of the so-called peaceful contact. He had seen the lies, the deception, the slow gathering of intelligence. Now, as the alien fleet revealed itself, Alex felt a cold satisfaction. He had been right to prepare for this moment. Lieutenant Davis, he said to his second-in-command, status report. Sarah Davis looked up from her station. Her young face was hard with determination. All systems ready, Captain. The Zelani fleet is in perfect position. They have no idea we're here. Alex nodded. The Vengeance was humanity's most advanced warship, built in secret after the peace accords. While the diplomats talked about friendship and cooperation, military leaders had quietly prepared for the possibility that aliens might not share human values. Weapons status? Alex asked. Chris Baker, the weapons officer, checked his displays. All systems charged and ready, sir. Kinetic kill vehicles are loaded. Fusion torpedoes are armed. Plasma cannons are at full power. Alex walked to the main view screen. He could see the Zelani fleet surrounding the helpless Harmony. Hundreds of alien warships, thinking they had won before the battle even started. They studied our diplomats. Alex said quietly, "They learned about our culture, our art, our desire for peace, but they made one mistake." "What's that, sir?" Sarah asked. "They assumed that because we want peace, we've forgotten how to make war. The Vengeance was not like other human ships. It had been designed by people who understood that sometimes peace could only be maintained through strength. Every system was built for maximum destruction. Every weapon was designed to kill as efficiently as possible." "Sir," said Pete Collins, from the engineering station, "we're receiving the surrender demand from the Zelani Admiral." Alex listened to Admiral Kethlin's arrogant words. The alien truly believed that humans were weak and helpless. He had no idea that his entire fleet was being watched by the most dangerous warship humanity had ever built. "Typical," Alex muttered. "They think because we extended our hand in friendship, we don't know how to make a fist." Lieutenant Davis looked worried. "Captain, there are over 300 enemy ships. Even with our advanced weapons, the odds are not good." Alex smiled grimly. "Sarah, those ships were built to intimidate peaceful species. They're designed to look scary, not to fight a real war. The Zelani have been conquering helpless civilizations for so long, they've forgotten what actual combat looks like." He turned to his crew. These were not diplomats or scientists. These were soldiers, trained for war and ready to fight. Each one had volunteered for a mission that might be suicide. "Listen up," Alex said. "Our job is simple. We protect humanity. We show the galaxy that Earth is not defenseless. We teach the Zelani that humans are not prey." The crew nodded. They had trained for this moment, hoping it would never come, but ready when it did. "Julie," Alex said to his tactical officer, "what's our best approach?" Commander Julie Brooks studied the enemy formation. "Their ships are spread out to surround the Harmony. They're not expecting an attack from behind. If we hit their flagship, first we can disrupt their coordination." "Good," Alex said. "We'll use the confusion to thin their numbers before they can regroup." On the bridge of the Harmony, Captain Morrison was watching the clock. Only minutes remained before the Zelani deadline. His crew was trying to stay brave, but everyone knew they were about to die. "Captain," Kate said suddenly, "I'm getting a message on the military frequency." Jake looked at her with desperate hope. "What does it say?" Kate's voice was barely a whisper. "It says justice comes." Jake frowned. What did that mean? Justice comes? He had never heard that phrase before. But in the depths of space, Alex Turner was giving his final orders. "All stations prepare for combat. We decloak in 30 seconds. The Vengeance had been hidden using technology the Zelani had never seen. Humanity's greatest scientists had worked for years to develop stealth systems that could hide a ship even from advanced alien sensors. Decloaking in 10 seconds, Sarah reported. Alex stood at the center of his bridge, calm and ready. "Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every human who ever dreamed of peace. We're fighting for the right to extend friendship without being seen as weak." 5 seconds, Sarah said. 4, 3, 2, 1. The cloak. The Vengeance appeared directly behind the Zelani flagship like a ghost materializing from the void. The alien ship was massive, But the human warship was built for killing, not intimidation. Admiral Kethlane's bridge erupted in alarm. Where did that ship come from? He demanded. His sensor officer was panicking. Unknown, sir. It just appeared. Our sensors detected nothing. Alex Turner's face appeared on the Zilani Admiral's screen. His expression was cold and deadly. Admiral Kethlane, I am Captain Alex Turner of the Terran Defense Force. You have threatened human lives. You have deceived my people. You have declared war on Earth. Kethlane's tentacles writhed with fury. Impossible. You have no military. We studied your capabilities. You studied our diplomats, Alex replied. You never met our warriors. Alex nodded to Chris Baker. Fire. The Vengeance unleashed hell. Kinetic kill vehicles, moving at incredible speed, slammed into the Zilani flagship. Fusion torpedoes exploded against its hull. Plasma cannons burned through its armor like paper. Alien ship, built to terrorize peaceful species, crumbled under the assault. Its beautiful bioorganic hull, designed for show rather than protection, offered no defense against human weapons, designed by a species that had perfected the art of war. Impossible, Kethlane gasped as his ship died around him. You were peaceful. Alex's voice was steady and final. We offered you peace. You chose war. The flagship exploded in a brilliant flash of light. All around the human ships, the Zilani fleet was thrown into chaos. They had never faced real resistance before. Their weapons were designed to destroy civilian targets, not fight actual warships. All weapons, free fire, Alex ordered. Show them what happens when they mistake kindness for weakness. The Vengeance moved through the alien fleet like a shark among fish. Every shot was precise, every attack calculated for maximum effect. The human ship was outnumbered 300-1, but it had been built by a species that understood war. On the Harmony, Jake Morrison watched in amazement as the mysterious warship carved through the enemy fleet. Who are they? He whispered. Kate was monitoring the communications. They're calling themselves the Terran Defense Force. I've never heard of them. Jake realized the truth. While humanity had publicly disbanded its military, some leaders had quietly prepared for this day. They had built ships and trained crews. In secret, hoping for peace, but ready for war. The Zilani had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed that because humans wanted to be friends, they had forgotten how to be enemies. They were learning the truth in the worst possible way. The Zilani deadline had passed. Admiral Kethlane was dead, his flagship destroyed. But the alien fleet still outnumbered the humans by hundreds to one. The remaining Zilani commanders regrouped quickly, their ships turning to face the lone human. Warship. Captain Alex Turner stood on the bridge of the Vengeance, watching the enemy fleet reorganize. His ship had drawn first blood, but the real battle was just beginning. Status report, he ordered. Lieutenant Sarah Davis checked her instruments. 37 enemy ships destroyed, sir. 263 remaining. They're forming attack formations. Alex nodded. The Vengeance had hit them hard, but there were still too many enemies. It was time for the next phase of the plan. Open a channel to all Zilani vessels, Alex commanded. The communication went out across the fleet. Alex's face appeared on every alien ship screen, his expression cold and determined. Zilani fleet, this is Captain Alex Turner. You came to our space believing we were weak. You thought peace made us helpless. You were wrong. The alien commanders listened, their tentacles writhing with confusion and fear. They had never encountered resistance like this before. You have a choice, Alex continued. Leave our space. No, and live to tell others what happens when you threaten humanity. Stay and learn why our species survived countless wars to reach the stars. One of the Zilani commanders, A scarred veteran named Yothkin responded with anger. You have one ship, human. We have hundreds. Your bravery is meaningless. Alex smiled coldly. One ship? You really didn't study us very well. He nodded to Julie Brooks at the tactical station. Execute Protocol 7. Across the star system, space began to shimmer. Hidden among asteroids, behind moons, in the darkness between worlds, more ships began to decloak. Not just one or two, but dozens of them. The Terran Defense Force had been preparing for this day for years. The Zelani fleet found themselves surrounded by human warships they had never detected. Each one was built for war, bristling with weapons designed to kill efficiently and without mercy. Impossible, Commander Yothkin whispered. Our sensors showed nothing. Your sensors are designed to find ships like yours, Alex replied. Pretty. Glowing vessels meant to intimidate civilians. You never looked for real warships. Captain Morrison on the Harmony watched in amazement as the human fleet revealed itself. How many ships are there? He asked Kate. Kate was counting contacts on her screen. 87 human vessels, sir. They were hidden throughout the system. Jake felt a mixture of relief and betrayal. Relief that humanity was not as helpless as he had thought. Betrayal that his own government had kept this secret from him. But there was no time to think about politics. The battle was about to begin. In earnest, the Zelani fleet was in chaos. They had expected to face one small diplomatic ship. Instead, they found themselves outnumbered by an enemy that had been watching and waiting. All ships, attack formation, Alex ordered. Show them what human military doctrine really looks like. The human fleet moved with precision that the Zelani had never seen. Every ship knew its role. Every captain understood the battle plan. This was not a collection of individual vessels, but a coordinated war machine. Commander Yothkin tried to rally his fleet. All ships concentrate fire on the largest human vessels. They cannot defeat us if we work together. But the Zelani ships were not built for real warfare. They were designed to terrorize defenseless colonies, not fight actual battles. Their weapons were powerful, but slow. Their armor was decorative rather than protective. The human ships, in contrast, were built by a species that had perfected the art of killing. Every weapon system was designed for maximum efficiency. Every defensive measure was tested in actual combat. Target their command ships first, Alex ordered. Cut off their coordination. The Vengeance led the attack, its weapons carving through alien hulls like they were made of paper. The other human ships followed, each one a masterpiece of military engineering. Pete Collins in engineering was pushing the ship's systems to their limits. Power levels at maximum, Captain. All weapons at full capacity. Chris Baker at weapons was methodically destroying enemy ships. Fusion torpedoes away. Direct hit on target 17. Enemy vessel is breaking apart. The Zelani tried to fight back, but their tactics were all wrong. They had learned to win through intimidation and surprise, not through actual combat. Against an enemy that fought back, they were helpless. Human ships are too fast, one Zelani commander reported. Their weapons are too accurate. We cannot match their coordination. Commander Yothkin realized they were losing. How is this possible? They showed us no military strength. On the Harmony, Ambassador Veltar was watching the battle with growing horror. He had spent weeks studying human culture, learning about their art and music and dreams of peace. Now he was seeing another side of humanity entirely. They truly did want peace, he said to himself, but they prepared for war. The battle was turning into a massacre. The Zelani ships, built for show rather than substance, were being destroyed one by one. Their beautiful bioorganic hulls, designed to impress rather than protect, offered no defense against human weapons. Alex Turner watched the destruction with grim satisfaction. "This is what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness," he said quietly. The surviving Zelani ships began to retreat, but the human fleet pursued them relentlessly. This was not just a battle. It was a message. A warning to the galaxy that Earth was not defenseless. "Please," Commander Yothgan transmitted, "to the human fleet, we surrender. We will leave your space." Alex considered the plea. Around him, the battle was winding down. Most of the Zelani fleet was destroyed or fleeing. A few remaining ships were badly damaged and helpless. "Negative," Alex replied coldly. "You came here to enslave my people. You deceived us. You threatened our children. There is no surrender." Julie Brooks looked up from her station. "Sir, several enemy ships are trying to escape to hyperspace." "Let them go," Alex ordered. "Make sure they're too damaged to be a threat, but let them escape." Sarah Davis frowned. "Sir? Why let them go?" Alex's smile was cold as winter. "Because they need to spread the word. The galaxy needs to know what happens when you threaten Earth." The surviving Zelani ships limped away into hyperspace, their hulls cracked and smoking. They carried with them a message that would spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Humanity was not the helpless prey species they appeared to be. On the Harmony, Captain Morrison was still trying to understand what he had witnessed. "Kate, patch me through to the Vengeance." Alex Turner's face appeared on the screen. He looked tired but satisfied. "Captain Morrison, are you and your crew safe?" "We're fine, thanks to you," Jake replied. "But I have to ask, who are you people?" "I thought the military was disbanded." Alex was quiet for a moment. "Officially, it was. But some of us remembered that peace is only possible when you're strong enough to defend it. We hoped this day would never come, but we prepared for it anyway." "You've been watching us this whole time?" "Every minute," Alex confirmed. "We recorded everything. The lies, the deception, the spy devices and their gifts. We knew they were planning something, but we had to let them reveal their true intentions." Jake felt a mix of emotions: relief that humanity was safe, anger that he had been kept in the dark, pride that his species had been prepared for this moment. What happens now? Jake asked. Alex looked out at the debris field that had once been a Zelani fleet. "Now the galaxy learns that humans are not victims. We tried peace first, just like we always do. But when peace fails, we remember how to fight." Ambassador Veltar, still on the Harmony, spoke quietly to Dr. Lisa Carter. "Your people truly wanted friendship, didn't they?" Lisa nodded. "We did. We still do. But we learned long ago that some people mistake kindness for weakness." "We made a terrible error," Veltar said. "We saw your art, your music, your dreams of peace. We thought it made you soft." "It makes us human," Lisa replied. "We create beautiful things because we understand how precious life is. But we also know how to destroy when we must." The alien ambassador's tentacles drooped with shame. 17 worlds we conquered the same way. 17 species that trusted us and paid the price. "Not anymore," Lisa said firmly. "The galaxy will know what the Zelani Collective really is. Your days of easy conquest are over." As the last Zelani ships disappeared into hyperspace, Alex Turner addressed his fleet. "All ships, report status." The reports came in one by one. The human fleet had suffered some damage, but no ships were lost. The Zelani, meanwhile, had lost over 90% of their force. "Send word to Earth," Alex ordered. "Tell them first contact went exactly as we feared it might, but humanity is safe." The message would take time to reach Earth, but when it did, the celebrations would be different than expected. Instead of celebrating new friends among the stars, humanity would celebrate their strength and their survival. The days that followed, the story spread across the galaxy. The Zelani survivors told everyone who would listen about the terrible mistake they had made. They had found a species that looked peaceful and gentle, but had revealed themselves to be the most dangerous warriors they had ever encountered. Other alien civilizations began to reconsider their plans for expansion. If the humans could so completely destroy the mighty Zelani fleet, what might they do to other potential enemies? But